Welcome to this lesson. On today's lesson, we are going to talk about plane shapes. Remember to subscribe, like, share, or follow this page for more interesting and amazing videos. Plane shapes, which are flat shapes, could have four-sided shapes, which we call quadrilaterals. Among the quadrilaterals, we have the parallelogram, we have the trapezium, we have the rhombus, we have the kite, we have the rectangle, and we have the square. Among some of these shapes, we have pairs of parallel lines. These are separated by equal distance, and parallel lines meet at infinity. Examples of quadrilateral shapes that have parallel sides are the rectangle, the square, the trapezium, and the parallelogram. Now let's talk about the perimeter of plane shapes. The perimeter of a plane shape is the distance round the shape or the sum of the lengths of all the sides of that shape. Here we have a square and one side of the square is 2x plus 1. So we are required to find the value of x if the perimeter of the square is 36. So remember that the perimeter of a square is 4 times the length of one side, which is 4 bracket 2x plus 1 bracket close equal to 36. So if we cross out 4 from both sides, we're left with 2x plus 1 equal to 9, because 36 divided by 4 gives us 9. Because we have to move plus 1 to the other side of the equation, we'll have to subtract minus 1 from both sides, leaving 2x equal to 9 minus 1, which is the same thing as 2x equal to 8. So now that we have 2x equal to 8 left, we just require the value of x. How do we achieve that? By dividing both sides by 2, giving us x equal to 4. Therefore, the value of x is equal to 4. So you see how simple it is. Let us try another example. One side of the rectangle is 3x plus 4 and the short side of the rectangle is 5 centimeters. If the perimeter is 40 centimeters, what is the length of this rectangle? How we're going to solve this problem is by knowing that the perimeter of a rectangle means the sum of double the two sides of this rectangle. Now in this question, we will subtract 2 times 5 cm from 40 cm and then divide the answer by 2 for us to achieve the length of this rectangle, as seen in the solution here. Therefore, the length of this rectangle is 15 centimeters. Now to find the value of x, we'll equate 3x plus 4 equal to 15 centimeters. We will move plus 4 to the other side by subtracting 4 from both sides, giving us 3x equal to 11. Now to find the value of x, we will divide both sides by 3, crossing out 3 from 3x and then leaving us the value of x as 11 over 3. Converting this to mixed fraction, we'll have 3 whole number 2 over 3 centimeters. It's time for us to talk about another plane shape, very interesting, known as triangles. Triangles are three-sided shapes in which the sum of all the angles in this triangle gives us 180. Also, the area of this triangle is half base times height, which is basically the area of a square divided by 2. So a triangle is basically half of a square. Types of triangles. We have 5 basic types of triangles, which is the scalene triangle, the right angle triangle, the equilateral triangle, the isosceles triangle, and the obtuse triangle. The scalene triangle is a triangle that has 3 different sides and the angles 3 different angles, while the right angle has one side as 90 degrees and the sum of the two other sides 90 degrees. The equilateral triangle has 3 equal sides and 3 equal angles. So no matter the size of the equilateral triangle, the angles will always be 60, 60, 60 degrees. Then we have the isosceles triangle, which is a triangle that has two sides equal and two angles equal. And then we have the obtuse triangle, which is a triangle that has one side larger than 90 degrees. So it looks like a triangle that is leaning to one side, and the sum of the other two angles is the sum of the exterior angle of the triangle. Now let's talk about the right angle triangle. Right angle triangle is a very special triangle that has a lot of features that we can use in our everyday life. The right angle triangle has three sides: the opposite, the adjacent, and the hypotenuse. The opposite and the adjacent can tilt based on which angle we are referencing. One of the things that makes the right angle triangle so special is the theories. I'm sure you must have heard of Pythagoras theorem and the trigonometric ratios. They are used to solve problems for triangles, squares, circles, and what have you. So the Pythagoras theorem states that the sum of the square of the opposite side and the adjacent side is equal to the square of the hypotenuse. Also, we have trigonometric ratios like the sine, the cosine, and the tangent. That will be all for today's class. See you in our next class for more on triangles.